All right, so I'm joined once again by Lorenz Larkin. Welcome back, man. How have you been?
Good, man. Just been chilling. I just got to train in just so people are like, they think I'm some fucking Donahar. I'm just wearing rash guards just randomly.
No, literally, you were sweating a minute ago, so we let you
Yeah,
dry
yeah,
off
yeah.
first. Okay, so I guess first thing I got for you is after Bellator San Diego, right? Big win, big win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's everything kind of coming off of that? You still riding that high a little bit because it was a big knockout, or you kind of has it worn off now?
It's gone now, man. It just like I always just it's just like a time in just time in history. You know what I mean? Like it was good, and now it's just like I just move on. You know.
How long does it usually last for? Like the excitement, like a week or something like that, or
I think like a week. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I you know, yeah, I would say about a week, other than if somebody hasn't seen me and then they're like, hey, congrats, then I'm talking and then obviously then it gets brought up again. But for the most part, from with me, it's like a week.
okay, got you. And how did this win feel as far as like, was it a big one for you? And like, I don't know, I was there, so I saw you with your family and your young daughter and stuff like that in Bellator San Diego. So just kind of curious, like how you took it. Like, was this a big one for you?
Man, it's so funny, man. This is that it's it was kind of eerie because this is like the exact same thing that happened when I was with the UFC. It's literally almost to the T, of like how it happened, So it was crazy, On my last fight with UFC, it was, I mean, obviously, like I know what was going on, you know what I mean? I was the older guy going against the young, you know, up and comer, and you know, if it worked how it was supposed to work. You know what I mean? It was the younger guy getting the name off of me and, and putting me away. And, that's kind of what I felt like, back then I wasn't even in, was I in, I'm not even sure if I was in the top 20, if they even had, oh, no, I think I was in the I was in the top 20 when I left one of my last fight in the UFC. And then they matched me up with the number 6 at the time, and then obviously, I won that fight and then left or went into free agency, and so that was the same way with this, how I felt. It was the young, hungry lion, and then versus the older hungry lion, and then on the last fight of my contract. So it was crazy. It felt real similar.
Did you have an extra chip on your shoulder going into this one then, with all that stuff kind of being on you again?
It's like I almost feel like not so much a chip, but I feel like I got an insider tip, on the situation. That's how I go into it, feeling like I just feel like I'm about to spoil the party for a lot of motherfuckers. That's how I
Okay.
feel.
Especially because you've probably been through it before, right? So you're like, I got this one kind of. Was there
Uh,
any doubt at all though? I mean, you got to have maybe a little bit, or do you tell me?
I mean, the thing of it is like you always there's always like it's a fight, right?
Right.
So
The unknown is always there.
yeah, exactly. But you just go in knowing that with me, I always just going in knowing I had a good ass camp. I'm fucking conditioned to the max. It doesn't matter how the fight goes. My gas tank isn't gonna go. So all I need to do is just perform. You know what I mean? And I think with the career I've had and the experience I've had, I've gone with the best of the best. You know what I mean? So I know my skill is there. So all I got to do is just put it on display and use it right, So I think that when you have your doubts, but then you go back into your bag and you're like, well, you are a top fighter. You have fought the best. You've been in situations like this before. Let's just go out there and perform. So you always having fucking talk and talk, throughout your mind. So it's just a part of the game.
Yeah. And I guess that's where the training comes in, right? When you check off all those boxes, you don't miss your training and stuff like that, and you dedicate yourself, then you're able to combat the bad thoughts maybe a little easier.
Exactly, man. That's why
Right.
I hate when I see like fighters, they're like, oh, I don't get nervous. I know I don't get nervous before a fight. Like that shit's bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody gets nervous. Like you're fucking liars. The only reason why a newer fighter, the nerves take over, like I say with time, right? With experience, the more you're in this situation, you get that feeling of it's fight time, right? That's the only time you get that certain feeling. But the only difference is the more you do it, the more you talk to yourself like, like I know I got that feeling, but it's normal. Like I get it every time I fight. It's just, and you deal with it. And then fighters that haven't experienced maybe the big stage like that and first time, they don't know how to deal with it yet. You know what I mean? They're just like overcome. They're just like, I don't know how to do. So, but as they go on, it gets more normal, but they still have that feeling. They're just able to acknowledge that it's normal. I'm always gonna feel like this, and I've been here before, so it's cool. But you still have a feeling. It's never. You don't just go in a fight just dead soul. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, I don't know.
Unless you're like a young guy getting propped up, because you see those and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy knows he's gonna win. Like the UFC knows he's gonna win too. You know those young guys who they gave like a Bo Nickel with his first couple fights. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
nerves
yeah,
aren't that
yeah,
high for that. But with a real fight, of course you're gonna have nerves.
yeah.
Yeah,
But even, I mean, don't even give me like even with him though. You know what I mean? Like it's still a fight. You
still a
still
fight.
have you still have a weird fucking, even if the guy sucks, he's still coming out weird at you, you know what I mean? So there's still
True.
worries.
And
Yeah.
then you see that one guy, you see the guy who was getting cornered by like the female, and then he got knocked out in boxing.
No.
Oh, it was like a viral clip. Like, you had to have probably seen it, but in boxing recently, there are these two guys, and one was like a jobber, the other one was like a prospect, and then he
Mhm.
got knocked out by the jobber who was like 22 and like or 20 and like 22 or something like that. And then
Jeez.
what was funny is that they had his corner like on screen while it was happening, and she's like a woman, and she's like walk into it, and then like boom, he got caught with the left hook. But I was saying like the jobber sometimes wins, right? So it's always going to be nerves.
No, for sure. Damn, I wish I had a bet on that fight.
I know, right?
Have you ever seen boxing odds before?
Yeah, they're like plus like 1100.
Dude, they're so crazy. I seen like one at like 2,800. Like it's
Right.
nuts. Yeah.
That one kid Ashton Silv from Long Beach, if you're familiar.
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's from Long Beach. One of Jake Paul's guys that he's like kind of
Okay.
promoting. He got
Uh-huh.
knocked out, but he was another one of those that happened this year. Big favorite. If you would have bet on him, you would or
Mm.
on his opponent, you would have made some serious money.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I need to stop paying attention.
Maybe bet against like one of Bo Nichols' opponents or something like that. He's
Yeah,
got
I
those
know.
crazy
Like just a
boxing
little bit.
odds.
Yeah.
Right.